Cup of Culture is a community of inclusiveness, diversity, and belonging to social justice, culture, and music. Hey, I'm your host, Cadillac Rhone. I got the lovely wife, Audrey Rhone.
Hello.
Today we're gonna do something different. And I'm so glad you called me for this. Today we're gonna do something different on Morning Cup of Culture, where we get to ask the lovely hostess the questions this time. So we're gonna do some role reversal. Pause. I don't know. Pause. I gotta say pause when I'm talking to women, dog, right? I don't know how that shit goes. So you know what I mean? He's like, I'm an old guy. I don't know what that pause shit is. So I just trying to be funny right now. Then I was like, damn, are you supposed to say pause in a situation like that?
You're so stupid, I can't.
Okay. Anyways. All right. I'm gonna let you go ahead and kick it off. Do you want to be on camera? I mean, you're halfway on camera now.
I'm good with half.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you go ahead and ask your first question.
What inspired you to get into rap?
To get into rap? Oh, I think the radio is where it all started for me. I grew up in Utah, so pretty much any hip hop was either on MTV, which we didn't really have, and so the radio was like the second best thing. And I learned very quickly how to dub over tapes so that I could record the songs I wanted, and that's where it started.
The little cotton ball or something.
Yep. Little tape. Got over you know what I'm talking about, A side, B side.
I don't know how many times I spliced tape, like the actual, the reel on the tape recorder or on the tape. I've spliced that shit and get a little tape, put that shit together.
Yep. Whatever you had. Q-tip, whatever.
That's how, like, anytime, you know how the tape would get stuck sometimes and it fuck up.
Yeah.
I would fix it.
Get the pencil.
That's how I would fix it. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Next question.
Was there a specific hip hop artist or rap artist that you aspired to?
You know, Outkast was super, super popular when I was young. And so Outkast for me, I identified a lot with them, but I think it was, content. I was getting a lot of Outkast content. Pretty much anything from Atlanta or West Coast hip hop is where I was finding stuff. I found that if I went to the record store, I could find East Coast stuff. But on the radio, it was mostly, the East Coast. West Coast, but Outkast, Andre 3000, it was so cool to me to see Outkast and then them, how they had their separate journeys along the way. So that was probably them. KRS-One. There's plenty of names that I could say, but for the most part it was the lunch table, the people around me that made me want to spit my shit,
That was my favorite shit. Going into like the lunchroom or even being at a house party or something.
Yeah, talk my shit. I wanted to talk my shit.
Is there a specific song or verse that touched you or changed you, like that you connected with?
A song or verse? Is that what you said?
I guess let me elaborate on that real quick.
Okay.
Like, not just the verse that like touched you, like, because we as you're coming up, or not when you're coming up, when you're growing up, you always have songs that are define your like moments in your life, like when you bumping this at 10, and then that's what this happened, and you were bumping this. So like, what song helped you get through like your rough times? Just to elaborate on her question. Like,
Lottie Dottie, we likes to party, we don't cause trouble, we don't bother nobody, we're just a white girl on the mic, and when I rock the mic right, I rock the mic right. Probably Lottie Dottie. by Snoop Dogg. It reminded me of like summertime, just when, because it gets cold here and we go through a lot of like winter, so people got to go inside. So I would say that song is the song that got me through because it was like what was popping on the radio and just like relevancy for, everything that we were going through.
It's one of those songs that just put a smile on your face every time you heard it.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to party, like I wanted to party all the time. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to, be outside with my friends and just,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know, yeah. I
I,
would say that that's probably the first thing that comes to mind, in this moment. So,
hold on, I do got a question. I'm gonna take it off the music for a second.
okay.
So hold on, I want to word it right. I want to word it right. Okay. Go ahead. I'll ask her a question. I'm gonna come
Are
back.
you nervous?
Word it right. I want to word it
like,
right. Go. No. I like word it right.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm gonna give you a softball question. That's yeah. So what's going on in Brooke's life right now? Like, does Brooke got a main squeeze or a little something on the side that she talking to that she calls up when she's home and just wants to snuggle, Netflix, and maybe chill or no chill?
got all the way personal.
Yeah, that's why I said we gonna flip it. We gonna flip it.
Okay. Y'all want to know if Brooke is single? Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, are you single?
I would say that Allah is my partner right now, and however He wants my life to go, that's where I go when it comes to that situation. So it's interesting how those moments come into play, but I mean, I don't know. In the Islam community, which I do identify with Islam very much, I took, I when it comes to dating, I think it's important that I focus on what's important to Brooke. And that type of energy right now is just not something I'm really focused on. Am I open to it? Yeah, I mean, everybody wants a boo. Like, I might have a boo. Like, you never know. Okay.
I'm saying like it doesn't even have to be your boo thing.
I did want to put my hood on with that one.
She gonna start blushing right now. But see, it doesn't have to be a boo thing. It could be somebody that you know. It could be a friend, a
Next
homosexual
question.
friend. I mean, okay,
Next
all
question.
right.
Okay, I have a. Well, since he brought that up, I have a. Do you feel where you are at in the music, how you do your interviews? Do you think that when it comes to relationship, people are intimidated by you?
I think that if anybody's intimidated by me, then that's something that they have to process. Like when it comes to confrontation, I would rather focus on love and communication and community. And this particular journey I'm on is something that's going to include everybody. Right now, it's including you. I mean, Ron, you've been on the show. You've been on the show before. Like, we talked about this. We manifested this, and here we are. I chose episode 22 because it's the second letter, and that's BB. That's Brooke. You feel me? So it just kind of came back full circle, and I don't know. I feel like if you're intimidated by me, like maybe you should just talk to me and ask me a question, or maybe don't. I don't know. Like, whatever.
That
Yeah.
I post and when I see your pictures, like I am so proud of you. Like you have come so far. Like I am amazed by everything that you're doing, and I truly am proud of you. Like I cannot praise you more for everything that you've done. Like to see the moves that you've been making and everything like that, I am extremely just
Thank you. I think that people forget that like we're all human, right? Um, I've suffered from like depression. I've, had my days where I can't get out of bed. I've had, my days where I just want to go under the covers and, like those days happen to me too, and even days where I'm like ready to conquer the world. those are days when I feel like that too. So I think it's just people need to understand that like I'm totally approachable. My emails always open, my DMs are open. Like I don't mean like my DMs are I mean like I like to have conversations with people about the world and about like what they're going through or what they're passionate about, or you know.
That's why I said about the dinner.
Yeah.
We started, that's why I said, that's why we like to have barbecue. Because
Yeah.
we don't invite just random people over to the house, you know what I mean?
Our circle is small.
Yeah, and when you see everybody that comes here, people that we enjoy being around. You know what I mean? Because like I said, we don't just invite anybody to our house where the kids are. You know what I mean? Like, you know the whole phrase, don't shit where you eat type of stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We invite people to the house is because we really fuck with those people. You know what I mean? Like we were, and granted, I know anybody watching probably like, hey, but you said you fuck with me. I do fuck with you. I fuck with everybody. I want to see everybody win.
Everybody needs to win, but they gotta want to win. That's my thing. Is that I think where we're disconnected as a community and where we can go back to that intimidation thing is that like I'm not afraid to call people on their shit. Like that's just me being your friend. Like if I gotta cuddle you and coddle you all the time and not be honest with you, if like I see shit that's left, like I don't know, am I being a friend? You feel me? Like I don't know. I think that's where we're really disconnected as a community, is like we don't talk about politics, we don't talk about religion, we don't talk about like the shit that I want to talk about. Like there's episodes that are coming that are going to make people really uncomfortable, because it's like these are conversations that we're having, but we're having them on different platforms where it's not important, you know? You feel me? Like what's glorified right now is the clout chasers and the party all the time, and it's like that's not realistic. That's not community. Like so to be invited in your home, I love that you are comfortable enough to make me a part of your community, and that's what's important. That's what Morning Cup of Culture is. Like, you know, like let's just vibe. I feel like
we didn't know each other for a long time.
Yeah. That's you.
Sorry. She I forgot it was Felix's release party. She'd come in.
She said, well, how come you guys didn't talk to
and
me?
I'm sitting, we were in the green room. Well, it was at the time the green room.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey.
We were both like, that's Brooke right there, huh? That's Brooke right there.
I was like, is that her?
We weren't sure.
I'm a pop-up. Y'all know me. I'll just pop up.
That's what it was.
And then I was like, is that her?
And I think before that, we haven't seen you in like a few years.
Yeah.
So it was like to see you pop up, it was like, hold on.
I was like, I don't want to feel stupid and go, because we made eye contact, and I was like, I don't want to feel stupid, and that's not her. Because I kept looking at you. I was like, that's her. Yeah. No, that's not her. I'm not gonna go over there because I don't feel stupid.
I know, because she said something to me. She was like, "You're not gonna say hi?" I was like, "Well, I wanted to, but I wasn't sure." Anyways, that's funny.
But you know what? You're right. Like you said, I'm not kind of person. But David and I have been through a lot. We've been through a lot. So now I become a person where what you see is what you get. It's worse now. So if you ask me my opinion, there it is. I'm just gonna spit it out. You know, there's no sugarcoating it. This is what it is.
Yeah, but hold on. Let's stop. Like, I'm not trying to tell you to be like gentle with people or I don't know, but at least you still have to respect somebody's feelings. If it's somebody that you know, you don't want to just say, oh, motherfucker, look, your eyes twitching, you fucked up looking. I don't know why you would wear that. You just don't want to, like, you know what I'm saying?
No, but like I said, I can respect, like she said. I would, prefer her to say, you know what, bitch, you fucking up. Like, come out and
that's different. Like, that's different.
But like I said, her honesty, like she said, being blunt is.
I get it, because it's confrontational. People don't want conflict. Like, that's why we don't talk about the shit we don't talk about, right? Like, we want comfort, and
people are too soft. They can't take.
Yeah.
What's the word?
Criticism.
Criticism.
See, in this day and age, like as old as I am, you know what I mean? I'm older now. Like I don't want to talk to you. Like if you're doing something out of pocket, especially if you know, I'm gonna tell you. Don't get it twisted. I'm gonna tell you, but at the same time, I'm gonna back up because I like you go ahead. I don't got time for it. I just in this day and like where I'm at, I just don't want to. I don't want to deal with confrontation because I know where it can lead to.
You don't need negative energy.
So to me, it's like I just let that shit go. Like fuck it. I don't need the confrontation, especially if it's somebody that does have a little bit of sensitivity to them. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, I'm sensitive. I am super sensitive, and I am an attention seeker, and like I get impatient, and there's so many things that.
But you take constructive criticism with a grain of salt. Like it doesn't hurt. It doesn't. I've seen you take it like, okay, I understand that. Like, you know what I mean? You've taken it
right
very well. But there's other people who are just like, oh my God, like how dare you say that to me?
Well, I think that in order to lead, you have to be able to be led. Like you have to be able to learn. And for me, education and learning is something something my grandpa used to say is like a day without learning is a day lost. And I don't know who or where he got that from, but it stuck with me. And my grandpa's been gone for years. So like it's something that is super important to me, is like if I can learn something, like that's gonna make my day at least, an achievement, something that is part of a virtue. Like, like it's important for me that each day that I get up and I make moves, that those moves have purpose. And I think that the reason that I do this is just because like I see so much in my own community that like people are super, super gifted and they just don't have that encouragement. And I try to give that encouragement to people that want it, you feel me? But to be led, I call it servant leadership, and it's part of like a huge chapter of my life of giving service to others. And I did it in college. Servant leadership was about civic engagement and really giving back to the community through the projects and the grants, and just helping these communities get roofs or electricity, running water, like ecosystems, getting trees planted again, and so it was really dope that I got to go and be a part of that and see my community, because it wasn't just me. There were other college students that were also, those were their projects, you feel me? And so mine was animals and Canab, and I went to Canab 3 years. I went to San Francisco for, human rights type of stuff. I think that those moments of learning about my community and seeing San Francisco hit me hard. Like anybody that's from the Bay Area that knows the Tenderloin and Glide, like shout out to Glide, because the work that those people do down there and the community that they've built, and I don't even know like where they're at right now. Like they could be shut down with COVID. Like, so that's why we do what we do over here. Morning Cup of culture isn't just me. It's y'all. It's everyone. It's anyone that needs, community. And that for the only requirement for me, like you just gotta want to do better, whether it's you mow your lawn better or you write raps better, or I mean I'm being facetious, like the stuff we talked about already. Like shout out to Jasmine, she suffered being bullied and racial situations, that she was pushed out of college. Like game, she had a dream. I mean, I'm talking about previous episodes, like people that have been on the show. And so like I think the conversations, it goes back to what I said about the conversations that we're not having enough, and we're not having it on the right platform. And so, yeah, that was a long-winded way to.
Okay, quick though, before we switch subjects again, Glide, is that a venue, or is that like somewhere where everybody would meet up, or what?
So Glide was a facility that was down in the Tenderloin district in the heart of San Francisco. It was an organization that they fed close to 300 people a day, twice a day. Sometimes 3 times a day. Like if they had lunch, they would do lunches too. But so we did breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But the lunch is a little different. It's like a sack lunch. They don't actually come in. But when I was there, I did the lunch or the breakfast, and they would stand in line outside, and inside there were volunteers, there were employees, and then there were, citizens that needed food. And we I think we served like 312 for breakfast, and then like for dinner they served like 105 or something like that. It wasn't as much for dinner as it was for breakfast, which was interesting to me, but anyway.
Just homeless or just people in general?
Anyone. Like if you needed food, they would feed you.
So it's like a food bank. Not a food bank. What was the
No,
one?
like a cafeteria. There were tables that you would come in and sit down.
Oh, we used to have one as kids. I remember going, I think it was here in Phoenix. Maybe it was Chandler. I don't know, but I remember like a boys and girls club where, like you can go out, like you remember the YMCA's and the
Yeah.
boys.
This wasn't kids though. This was for adults. Like I think you had to be 18 to come through there. I didn't really see a lot of kids in there. At least where I was at, it was a huge facility, so they could serve children. Like I don't really remember because that was so long ago, and I don't know what they're doing now. So, but yeah, that was something that I will never forget. We had like over 25 hot boxes, and a hot box is crazy. So it's a box that's like,
I know, I deliver them.
Okay, yeah, and they were full of trays of food, and we would just, that was a lot of hungry people.
And I know all about them things.
Yeah, and I see my community, and we have a soup kitchen, and but we don't really have that specific type of thing here in Utah.
That's cool. That's cool. Okay, we're gonna pivot. We're gonna make it get back to some fun shit. I know she wanted to ask you this, but I wanted to ask you first.
Okay.
So, we switched the subject when I asked you about the boo thing and all that.
Okay.
So, I was curious because the whole reason why I was asking that is because, so what led to the peach and everything all being shown in the pictures and
oh, you want to know why I model in my underwear? Is that right?
Like, I was just curious. I was like,
she's like, shit. Oh, don't put the hood on now.
No, don't put the hood on don't do that now. Hey, the first picture I seen, I said, holy shit. I said, babe, look at Brooke. And we sat there and scrolled like, holy shit, hey, looking good.
You got that confidence. You know what? I told him, I love about you that you have that confidence, because I don't have
bullshit. Audrey, it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's bullshit. Like, so I started showing my ass because I hated my ass. Like, I still don't like my legs. I still, like, there are things about my body that I look at the Cardi B's and the Nicki Minaj's and every single female that's in Hollywood, and I say every, like,
a lot.
Fuck it. Every female in Hollywood, they've been cut, they've been poked, they've been filled, they've been, I don't know, nip, tuck, suck, the F word, like, it's me. It's my skin. It's the body God gave me. I think every little girl has a dream, and me, when I was little, my aunt used to watch Runway all the time, and my aunt was handicapped, and I lived with her, and I helped take care of her. And so anytime she would have the TV on, it would be like Versace, Louis Vuitton, but I'm watching like French runways, Paris week, like these were weird clothes, and I didn't understand it, but what I understood fully was the look on the girls' faces while I watched them run the catwalk. And growing up, I was super skinny, and so I got teased. And as I got older, I got thicker. And then you're big, body shaming, fat shaming. One of my exes used to talk shit to me and call me names and like put me down. And the stuff that he would say to me is like mental abuse, honestly, and that's stuff that we don't talk about. And so when I started to take pictures, it was mostly to gain confidence, because most of the pictures that I post I don't like, and that it trips people out when I say that, but like I choose it because I don't like it, because I feel like whoever sees that as a young girl or a female, and they're like, if she can do it, I can do it. If that what if happens, then I'll show you my pansy ass all day. All day.
High five. Yeah, good high five. High five. Yep. High five.
And yes, it is a pansy ass. That is a joke. So anyone that's seen my tattoo on my ass, I used to think I was hard as you could not believe. So I got a pansy because deep down, I'm just a pansy ass. So.
Yes.
Well, I told you the next time you come down, we do have lingerie for you that you got to pick out that you.
I'm game. Yeah, and anyone that wants to take my picture, send me your portfolio, because I like to have my photo taken now. Like it's changed. So the confidence that you see now, that's not in the first photos that I took. And shout out to Sisters in Stilettos. Like they pose you, they help you through it. Like they are super busy and that kind of thing, but they do take the time to make sure that, hey, tilt your head back, you know? So it's nice. It's nice. It's not something that I'm out there like, I think there's a lot that we forget about happens behind the scenes. And yeah.
Boudoir? Is that the word?
What's that?
Boudoir?
Boudoir, yeah.
Mary. You know Mary.
Mary.
Is it Nikki?
Yeah, Nikki. I forget her. What?
Hold on. I got to check, make sure I say her name right.
The redhead, Mary, with the glasses.
Yeah, Mary McPhee.
Yeah.
You know her?
She does good boardwalk photos.
Oh, heck yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah, she does good ones. That's
turn this shit up on.
That's if you have somebody do that, she's one to do.
Okay. It was kind of a two-part question.
Okay.
So, if there's more photos out there, well, here, let me say it like this. If somebody wanted to see more photos, just say like, I wanted to go find more photos of Brook. Is there like a website? Like, do you have it monetized where a motherfucker, say I wanted to go look up some photos of Brook. Is there a spot like a website? Like you have a website for those pictures? Or
Yeah.
They gotta go to your Facebook page or?
Facebook, Instagram, that's it. There isn't a...
I tried, fellas. I tried.
I mean, if Sisters in Stilettos and I wanted to get together and make a calendar, like, hit up Sisters in Stilettos. If you guys want to see a calendar, hit them up. Just start dropping my name that you want a calendar. And I would love to do a calendar with them. Like, or if there's someone out there that wants to do a calendar with me, hit me up. Like, let's do that rather than whatever's going on right now with that weird website. Like, don't fall victim to the website.
Oh, see, I didn't even know there was a fake website and all
Yeah,
that.
that's why my page is private now.
I didn't realize that. Like,
Yeah, someone dubbed my account.
But damn, I didn't know that they hit you like that. So they wow. So somebody went through the whole.
Yeah, I don't have an OnlyFans. I don't have a website. Like, I have a Lipson. We're gonna get the show on Apple and Spotify. So yeah, we have a distributor now.
That's what's up.
I'm excited.
Do you have any other questions? I know I asked a lot right now. So do you have any other questions? Yeah, but that's because you were already asking some of the questions I was gonna ask. When's the first time you picked up a pen and started writing? Like, I know once.
Oh man, so I actually won an award in kindergarten for writing. I started writing stories when I was young. So we're talking like 5 years old. So I have insomnia, and when I was a kid, my mom would just sit me down with the books and the crayons when I was little, and I would just write until my little heart's content and color, and yeah, so super young.
My daughter, she likes to write. She used to take my phone and just randomly draw or write. I had a whole little folder just for her. You know, she would start writing so much that she would start writing on my on notes I had, like little rhymes. You know,
does she still write?
She does, not as much as she used to, but she does now and then. She likes to draw. She's big on drawing. Right now, her thing is basketball. So,
heck yeah! What does she play?
She hasn't started yet, and right now,
okay, I was a point guard, so
right now, I think practice or for girls basketball team, I think it's March. Starts in March, tryouts, and she wants to make the A team. I forget what they call it now. She calls it something different, but no, for her school, they called it something else. It's I forget, but it's an A and B team. And she basically the B team is the scrimmage team that the A team plays. Like she's like, I don't want to be on that team. I want to be on the A team. So we've been out there practicing. She got a little shot on her now. She's getting better.
She gets they overlook her because she's so little.
Yeah.
She's tiny. I used to coach her softball team, and they always overlooked her because she was tiny. Mm-hmm. Like she has heart, and she's fast.
Oh, she's quick. She can hit too.
She's good.
Only problem I used to have with her is when she would cry because she got struck out or got out. It got to a point where like, hey, stop crying before I pull you out.
People are emotional.
Stop crying before I pull you out the game. I'm that daddy. Stop crying.
There's no crying.
That's not crying.
No crying in baseball.
It started off where I would tell her, like, it's okay you got out. You just scored. You just got 2 people in right now. You just brought 2 people in. You hit the ball all the way to the fence. Then you got 2 runners in. You got out. But it's okay. You guys just scored twice because of you. And shit didn't help. So it got to be, stop crying. Stop crying. I don't want to hear that shit. Stop crying. I'm tired of hearing you cry every time you strike out or you just were on the base like 5 times. Now you mad because you struck out once? Stop it.
You ain't gonna play no more.
But anyways, I digress.
What made you want to start doing your show, your interviews? What made you do that?
Oh man, okay. So I had interviewed some pretty dope artists back on the college circuit, and when I got divorced, I stepped away from everything and just really focused on like career and like building a home for myself. And what I stopped doing was my hobbies. You know, I had already stopped rapping. Like it was something that I gave up a long time ago. And then the podcast or the radio show I gave up. And so I realized that like there was a void with COVID, and COVID had started to turn me into an introvert, and I'm not really introverted. I'm an extrovert. And so I noticed that I started to like get bored, and I don't mind, right? And it was super important for me to get productive again and not get sucked into depression. And yeah, so I just decided like, let's do a podcast. And so I started to research how I wanted to do it and where I wanted to start and what exactly that looked like. And it's been fun. There's been a lot of rocky road along the way, some legal stuff that happened and some, business partner stuff that happened, and now here we are. So 22 episodes later, like it's been good.
It's kind of hard to have a partner, like to work with somebody on a show.
Yeah.
Kind of hard because not because it's like your personalities are different or nothing, but it's just, I don't know. It's like being in a group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like being in a group because sometimes everybody getting their feelings and it's the group just.
But you also, it's a give and take, right? I put a lot into this. So when someone sees the quick little video or the long video, there's a lot that goes into that video. Like For instance, these last two episodes, episode 21 with Skanks the Rap Martyr and episode 20 with Big Zoo, those are two artists that are out of the East Coast. And so it took conversations, it took emails, it took following up, it took investing. Like it wasn't free for me to go out there. Like it took time and energy and really just focusing on the mission. So EO Dub is a great platform for anybody that wants to rap. Like, I feel like if I had known about EO Dub, I wouldn't have cared like what was going on at home and why I was being prevented from being creative at home. I would have had that outlet. And so it's super important that people pay attention to what I'm doing with these episodes. It's not just like, oh, I'm putting this person on or I'm putting this person on. There is reason behind the topics that I choose and the people that I invite into this, because it's not just about me. Like, majority of the content that I post is educational. It's trying to teach people something. The immigration law episode is teaching people about immigration law, because a lot of people don't know about it. And if you don't agree with it and you don't know anything about it, how do you change it? So
real quick. Remember last time when you asked me if I was an introvert or an extrovert?
Yeah, we was talking about the third. Yeah.
There's another one. It's
yeah.
Omnivert. I had to look it up right now when we were talking about it because it reminded me. It's called an omnivert.
Omnivert. Okay.
Roller coaster between both the introvert and the extrovert.
Oh, hey, then I'm an omnivert for sure, because I'm a roller coaster.
Well, I told you, like,
if you know me, I am a roller coaster, and most of the time it's just me in my head.
Yeah, for real. That was That's why I had to look it up right now.
I love it. An omnivore. Is it an omnivore, like something that you eat?
It's just an omnivert.
Omnivert.
Omnivert. The same thing, just omni in the front. O-M-N-I. Yeah. I had to look it up right now because it triggered that in my head. Like, shit, hold on. I remember we had this conversation.
So if you had, what is your dream interview? The one person or the one subject that you haven't done yet that you would love to do an interview about?
You know, it's crazy that you asked that. 450 million podcast listeners. It's like a dream and a nightmare at the same time. Because to have 450 million podcast listeners, do you know how many podcasts I would have to have? And maybe it just takes one podcast. I don't know, right? Like, who knows? But for me, that's the day that whatever platform says 450 million listeners, whoever that person is that day, that interview, if it's Sally at her bake shop that's doing a cookie drive for whoever, it's her.
It doesn't matter.
No, I don't have like a pipe dream interview. I think that there are a lot of conversations that I would love to have with people, and
we'll go from there. What is one conversation? Okay, so what is one person that you would love to sit down and have? It should fucking don't even have to be one. Name 10 people that you would love to sit down.
Joe Rogan.
Oh, that's a good one.
Joe Rogan, because I would want to ask him like what everything that I do we have it in common? You know, like, is this why you have, because he's very similar, and I didn't really think about it until someone mentioned it to me, but probably Joe Rogan, just because, like, and it wouldn't even be podcast Joe Rogan, it would be like cockroaches Joe Rogan. Right? Like, people don't know him as that. I do.
I didn't even know that right now. I was like, wow.
Right? Am I right? I mean, I don't know.
She's like, I want to talk to that busted Joe Rogan that from back in the day. No, I don't want to talk to
I'm kidding. Like, no disrespect. It's just because he has such an amazing story to tell, and he's talked to so many people. So, yeah, probably Joe Rogan. There are some conversations in the sleeve that I'm excited to have. I'm not going to say names just because I feel like The universe is a crazy place. So, but there are some interviews coming up this year that I am super excited to have, and actually one of them's in Scottsdale, Arizona. So whenever I go down there, y'all will know off record who it is, because I'll be down there to have the interview, but I don't know exactly when that's happening. So but yeah, they live down there where you guys are.
Okay, have you ever so I listen to podcasts. I listen to murder mystery podcasts. That's
okay, yeah.
My thing. So I listen to.
I'm worried too.
my favorite one right now is Morbid Podcast.
That's how I taste my food.
My favorite is the Morbid Podcast, and I love those two girls. They're absolutely amazing, and they've been doing live shows. Is that something that you would ever do?
Yeah, we're gonna have some this year. We're definitely gonna have some this year. This I can't talk about. On March 11th, Zeus Rebel Waters actually has a show here in Salt Lake, and I'm actually planning to be there March 12th. So if all goes well, I'll be interviewing him live on the 11th. If not, it'll be the 10th. And yeah, because the show drops every Friday. It may be an exception to the rule that I actually drop on a Thursday that week, but I don't know. We're going to play it by ear.
I don't know how I'm wording this right. Do you think it's now in this generation, you think it's easier for women of hip hop?
Yes.
Easier in what way?
Yes. This don't matter. Yes.
I don't know how to word it. Like as far as their place in hip hop, like it's easier for them to be able to do their music more freely.
I think music in general for anybody is more accessible these days. I mean, I could be recording right now into my phone, like we didn't have that back in the day. You couldn't pirate software. And like there's ways now that you can gain access to resources, and reel to reel, or dubbing over tapes.
That was a real political answer. I'm gonna say that was a real political answer.
Yeah. As far as like females in hip hop, I think that we have been conditioned to pit female against female. And so when the female community stops competing and starts collaborating, like we've seen a lot of that lately with, Megan Stallion and Cardi B and Saweetie, and I love it. And so, yes, it is much easier in some ways, but when it comes to misogyny and pay, I think it depends.
See, when you're talking about women putting women against women in hip hop, it's competitive. Like if you think you're the best,
absolutely,
you're gonna go at whoever thinks they're.
It's already competitive.
Yeah, that's the nature. That's just.
Well, there's this camaraderie among men in music that
is not there with the women.
I mean, back in the 90s, you had your staple female, right? On whatever label, whatever crew, you had your staple female. Yeah. But not always. Yeah. Not always. Not every crew has a staple female, and I think now that's not really in the equation. There isn't really. I mean, there's crews, but they're like, the old heads.
I see what you're saying.
Who do you feel now is the top female? You personally, who do you feel is the number?
Oh, as a top female, she continuously inspires me as a mom, because I'm not a mom, but the fact that she's a mom, and then the fact that she's a boss on top of it, and then lyrically how she can go bilingual. It time and time again, I've said her name multiple times. It's Snow Tha Product.
Yes, it was hard.
She's fully independent. I know she ghostwrites, but whatever happens behind closed doors happens behind closed doors. But she is just
talk about that too.
She's the one.
Have you ever listened? I think her name is Ciroc. I think that's how
yeah. I mean, there's a whole list, but for me, but I'm talking about more than lyrics. You feel me? Like I'm talking about like just her swag, the way that she moves. She's just
I follow her.
boss.
I follow her.
Because she, matter of fact, was just talking about that because it got brought up about an NDA about her ghostwriting for somebody.
Oh yeah.
That got brought up.
Probably.
It got brought up because she said
she has a podcast. She yeah, like.
And I like the fact that, you know, she's not just about her music. She's been doing she did Queen of the South. She did her acting and everything.
Yep.
And she does
do a lot about that.
She does do a lot for the Latin community as well.
Absolutely. She's very ambitious.
So what's next for you? Like what's next for you? What you got? I know you got some other things going on as far as the podcast goes, but anything personally or even more so business? Like what
I think it's time to wrap.
So is there any old stuff we can go check out?
I mean, you might be able to find some really off the wall. You'll be like, what? But I've had several names. I've been through name changes. I've been signed to a label. I've recorded. The funny thing is that I did it so long ago to actually find something. It's probably trash. And not in a bad way, but like, you know, it was the early years. So I had a MySpace. I had a SoundClick, not a SoundCloud.
You know what? I had a SoundClick, but you know what's funny is I could never get into it because I always forgot my password. It be a point where like that, fuck it. I'm probably the only motherfucker alive that's never had a MySpace.
I actually have a Brook Blac YouTube that there's a one take on there. And then Instagram, Morning Cup of Culture, there's some freestyles on my Instagram.
I've seen your freestyle.
For the EO Dub, I did the EO Dub challenge. Yeah, they did a challenge last year with Diesel. What's that?
Should we be expecting you on any features?
Oh. No one's asked. I think there has to be product before people want to co-sign on it. You feel me?
That's why. We don't know you and we never see you rap until we see, like, I didn't know you rap. The freestyles I seen, I was like, holy shit, look at Brooke. I didn't know she raps.
Yeah. Yeah, people I think they have to have product before they're going to want to co-sign. But yeah, features would be dope. Yeah.
Is there a particular artist that you would like to work with?
Hold on. Don't feel bad. I think people forget that I rap.
Oh, please. Come on. They better rewind it back.
Oh, you rap? I'm like, yeah, I dabble.
He says, Google me. That's what he said.
Google me. I like it.
Just Google me.
He says, Google me.
Tell me what you find. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Ask your question.
Is there any particular artist that you would like to work with?
Bag of Tricks. I know you want to work with Bag of Tricks.
That would be dope, actually. I've always like had a dream of him recording my stuff. Because the funny thing is that when I first found Bag of Tricks Cat, he was Bag of Tricks Cat, but it was like before all the drama with his name, you know, like before he was engineering. Like, I've seen him grow. So for him to record me, that would be like full circle, I feel like, because he's dope. He's a dope MC. And then the fact that he to engineer a project that I'm on, like, yeah.
I feel like since I know him, he engineered.
He's always like done it, but like on full scale.
Yeah.
You know, he went full scale. He like.
There's 2 songs that he engineered, that he recorded. And I think one of them, when he went back and he kind of mixed it a little bit. I know Brian put the finishing touches on it, but I'm not mistaken, I got a song called Sicker Than the Average. But it's me, Felix, a Bag of Tricks cat for those, and TMK. It's called Sicker Than the Average. It's probably only on SoundCloud. That's probably the only spot you can find it at. But yeah, I think he engineered that. And that shit was like, damn, I don't even know how long ago that shit was.
He's dope, man.
Yeah, that shit
him. It would be him. Because I feel like the song would be dope too. You know, as far as a producer goes, I mean, why not? Why not Primo? Why not?
You could probably talk to him, reach out to him.
I mean,
okay, so if it wasn't Primo,
hey, if I have 450 million podcast listeners, I could afford a Primo, you know?
No shit, right? No, that's real talk. So check it. Well, look at it this way then. Instead of somebody like Primo, which would be dope, I would love to get a Primo beat. Locally or underground wise. I shouldn't say locally because I hate that they made sound locally bad term or whatever, but underground wise. Is there a producer that you have in mind that you want?
There's several. There's several that once I get in the groove of writing and recording, I'm going to be reaching out to when it comes to those specific producers. I'll definitely mention who do I want to mention?
We can do it off the record.
Pass.
Do it off the record because I want to know. I'm always looking for beats. So.
Oh, it would be my brother Diz and Big Shotty. He did the intro for the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. How long we got left?
Probably like 10 minutes.
Okay, well then I'm gonna save this question for the end. It's gonna be the last question I ask.
Okay. So like 2 more questions.
Yeah, another question. Well, shit, I feel like we didn't ask you everything now. Still want to tell us about the boo thing. Keeping that secret. Okay.
I do have a date tonight.
Oh, you do? See, why can't we, like, I asked you, like, we couldn't go into that?
That's not your business.
That's okay. I'm nosy. We on camera now. Like, I mean, and see, I said it doesn't have to be a boo thing. It's just somebody you chit-chatting with. Somebody that you call. You know.
I'm going axe throwing.
Hey.
You know what? I wanted to go do that, but David says I'm too aggressive.
I like how you just pivoted right now. I'm just going to say that. But yes, I'm so down. No, fuck that. Yeah, you are aggressive. You are aggressive. But I'm so down to do that. That should look like fun, huh?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
Okay, where you guys going?
Where?
Yeah.
It's called Social Axe Throwing.
Oh, yeah. I asked that like I know where that is. Okay. But I just figured like for the people
y'all come to Utah, we'll go.
I'm so down to do that. I want to go paintballing, but I think I'm too, like you said, too sensitive. I'm too sensitive because a motherfucker hit me with a paintball. I'm be so pissed off. I would really want to fight.
No paintball for Brooke. Really, I don't like that kind of pain.
We should do dodgeball.
Oh, the bouncy.
That would be fun.
Okay, so we're just ended on this one. I'm gonna ask you asked me. And I still haven't figured out a way to answer that.
Oh wait,
Okay. Well, go ahead.
In the next 2 years, where do you see your business going? Where do you see yourself?
I'm gonna have a 501c for at-risk youth here in the Salt Lake County, and my 501c is gonna help distract them from home or community or whatever they're needing distraction from, and the funds are gonna be, I mean, as far as the law goes, because I still have to follow the law with the 501c, but it's basically the only requirement is that they show up. Like, they have to show up, they have to do the work, they have to, fill out the applications. We're going to help them, right? We're going to help them use the funds. but it's going to be for them to either do like drawing or music or dance or, you know, whatever that looks like. So if they have a music program at their school that they can't get funding for, we're going to sponsor that. If they have a dance program through their school that they need shoes for, then we're gonna fund that. If there's a local community business or nonprofit that, like Granite Peaks for instance, they offer karate, they offer all kinds of stuff, because I feel like if a kid wants to go learn how to do piano, why not? If a kid wants to go learn how to be a graphic designer, why not, if it's available to them? And so we're going to be the wheel to help facilitate between the child, the at-risk child. So these kids that are like in DT is what I call it, because I went to DT as a kid. I spent a lot of time in lockup. I was I was a problem as a child, and those kids fall through the cracks and they end up in prison and they end up dead and they end up drug addicts downtown. And if we can catch them between, I mean, I don't know yet what the law is as far as the 501c goes, but I'd like to say like from 10 all the way up to 18. And even if the law allows, it would be dope to do 19, because there's so many kids that age out of the system that are homeless. We don't talk about like all these kids that are, you know, in that are wards of the state. I was a ward of the state. My mom signed away custody because I was such a problem child that she couldn't take care of me anymore. So the government had to take care of me like I was in a group home and shit. So these kids that are at risk, if I can facilitate between them and the street, or them in death, or them in drugs, then that's where I want to catch them. It'll be tricky, and I need to learn more about the law. But right now, in the next 2 years, that's the lane I'm going to be in. There's going to be a lot of travel involved with that to help raise money for those young, you know, children, to be able to pay for those kids locally. But then eventually, I would say at the end of the 2-year mark, that's where we would like to branch out. And if that means more counties here in Utah, or if that means more cities nationally and globally, then that's where we'll go.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I know here for Arizona, there are some, what you're talking about, 501c's that go up to 21. So I will find out if there is a 21 there.
I think with Utah, it's a little different, but if we're doing federal funding, then it should all be the same. So yeah, please send me whatever you got.
And then if you know, AZ Bonafide Apparel, we would love to go global, and that would be something that we would love to.
Well, we'll be looking for sponsors.
Yeah.
So we'll need sponsors. That's another thing, is that I'll be hot and heavy on sponsors, because each conversation we have includes more community, whether it's in Detroit or whether it's, I'm getting ready. By the time this drops, I'll actually be in Costa Rica. So yeah.
We're gonna get some bikini pictures of Brooke, huh?
I'm sorry?
So we're gonna get some bikini pictures of Brooke, huh?
Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I'm going to be working. I'm actually going to help someone that needs some help. And so I'm really excited to be able to go and mix my passion with their passion and really help them. So.
Okay, last question. So now you gotta go. You got a hot date. With Mr. or Mrs. Right?
Ooh, I bet people would love to know.
Really, I would.
Just ask her your question.
We'll talk off the record then. Fuck it. I'm just messing with you. I kid. Okay, so what is one question you would ask yourself if you were me? She hit me with this, and I was like, damn, hold on, what? I didn't know how to answer.
Damn.
Yep, that was me right there. When she asked me, that was me. I was like, holy shit.
Did you answer it?
Fuck no, I didn't know how to answer it.
I would say What was your childhood like? Because I think that for me, a lot of the reason I do this and wanting community and wanting to be a part of something is because I had a really messed up childhood. And being locked up and going through the stuff I went through, having a parent who was an addict, having siblings who were addicts, like friends who had been murdered. My best friend at 12 years old got murdered. My best friend was also 17. She was this chick that lived down the block from me. Her name was Monica Vigil. Rest in peace to Monica. I had to stand trial at her murder trial. I didn't have to, but I saw things happen to her that needed to be talked about. And if that makes me a snitch, whatever. But when a woman is being abused by a man, like, we need to talk about that. And that's part of the reason I do this, you know? So that's the question I would ask myself, is what my childhood was like. Because I feel like a lot of the conversations that I want to have with people, like, for instance, the Crown Heights riot, just the last episode we had, that community has seen things that people here in Utah have never even imagined, you know, and maybe people in Arizona have never even imagined. The Crown Heights riots, like, that part of history, you know, that racism is what we don't talk about. And so there's a lot more that goes into these episodes that people think, and there's a lot of subliminals that I hide within the content. And mostly it's education. I think it's important that we continue to learn. And if I had been able to have more access to resources as a child, which is why I want to do the 501c, I think we can start to see less and less mental health issues in our young adults and drug problems in our young adults, because that's the community right now that I feel like we're losing, that we really, really need.
You know what you said about snitching? It's not snitching when you're speaking for the dead.
Right.
They can't defend themselves.
That's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, in a situation like that, people get the conception of snitching mixed up. First off, you have to be in the street life. It's a term for street life. Are you out there doing some shit where you got caught and they got caught and you told on them to you, so you got lesser time. You know what I mean? That's snitching. Yeah. That's snitching. You know what I mean? A man beating up on a woman is never a good thing. I'm one of those kids. Like, it wasn't until my mom remarried that I have a better life. You know what I mean? And even then, my stepdad was coming off of his own issues. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
Real quick before we let you go.
Yeah.
What you're talking about doing for the community for kids, I think is a good thing.
Very noble.
It is, because what we went through, our son was affected. And there wasn't a lot of places. There's not a lot of places that were able to help him or reach him in a way that he needed to. So something like that, I think.
I mean, fingers crossed. It's hard to get youth to move, you know, but I think if we meet them on their level where they need it in their home, then that's the important part.
That would be amazing, because you know what, and not all people have access to something like that, or they're too ashamed to ask for the help that's there. So
right. Well, it'll be a lot of work finding these kids, because a lot of this stuff is not accessible because they are minors. So it'll be a lot of work working with like social workers, the court system, getting in touch with paralegals, like people that they think, you know, it's going to be a lot of work. So fingers crossed.
We can go into a whole nother conversation with this. You know,
yeah.
Talking about stuff like this, and you start thinking like, damn, they took so many after school programs. What do you think is gonna happen with a bunch of bored kids? I was one of them.
A lot. You know, that's pregnancy, violence, drugs, gangs.
Yeah, easily.
You know, just time wasting on social media. Like, let's get them off social media. Let's get them involved with something.
That's why I'm happy my daughter wants to play basketball.
Yeah.
I started playing basketball. I know she's mad because we didn't go out today. But
Enjoy your night. Be safe.
you be safe.
I love you guys.
Love you.
Thank you for doing this. I appreciate you. I can't wait to see y'all in March.
Yes.
Oh, see, we didn't even get into that. March 12th.
March 12th.
Carnival. Legends, whatever it's called.
Legends of Hip Hop Carnival, hosted by Respect the Underground and Icon Radio. Woo!